and there are some State of Origin jumpers up for grabs, some contentious and some decisions to be made. And the first one we're going to take a look at is Ponga up against Walsh. Walsh has been outstanding this year, but Ponga, Gordy, was back to his best last week, and he loves playing Origin.
He's number one for Queensland, no doubt.
You had him there before last week.
Yeah, absolutely, because last year, no Munster. In the final game, he stood up, he was man of the match, he was outstanding for Queensland, and he grabbed the moments. And for that, he gets the jersey against this year. I think Reece Walsh has been outstanding. He's had a tremendous season, but Kalyn Ponga still has that jersey because of what he did.
Surely, Gordy, you needed to see that performance on the weekend from Ponga to have that confirmation for you.
No, it helps, but no.
So you were happy to carry...
That's loyalty there.
You were happy to carry
Yes.
the form that Kalyn was in prior to last weekend into an Origin match.
I'm not Billy Slater, but yes, because I've watched it happen before. Everybody used to whinge when we'd pick Nate Miles or whatever. We just pick them, they go out there and do their job.
Cooper was the same. We had Cooper on last week. We asked him the same question without a hesitation. He said,
It's amazing, isn't it? But I agree with Dave in the sense that prior to that game, you had some concerns with Kalyn. That match, that match before the bye round for Newcastle was at Parramatta.
Yeah.
He just wasn't in it.
No, look,
and that performance, even on the weekend, to start with, he was just sitting back. He put that kick through that they scored off, and then in the second half, he turned it on, and it's case closed.
So what if he's flat this weekend?
Calf,
doesn't matter.
Calf injury, didn't play a lot.
He's in.
Got knocked out, missed a month of footy. He's just timed it perfectly.
It's been happening since 1981. They just picked the same
1980.
80. All right, you got me there. The next one is Luai up against Hynes. This is a tough one, and Brandy and Freddie would be sweating over this one. Everyone's been talking about it all year, although, again, just like Kalyn, Luai found his form at the right time. Did he play well enough to secure the incumbent number 6 jersey?
You know what? 2 weeks ago, it was a legitimate debate. At that stage, Nicho had been shooting the lights out and Luai hadn't been in the greatest of form. But since then, things have completely changed. Luai has been playing exceptional. Nicho had a very off game against the Dolphins, and then on the weekend he was good again, but he needed to win by knockout. The other bloke keeps the jersey.
Yeah, well, look, I think they'll both get picked.
Yeah.
And I actually think you'll end up seeing Hynes play 5/8, even if Luai is chosen firstly to start the match at 6. Yeah. But the potential of only one hooker for the Blues, not only going Cook or Coruscant, and then having Hynes or Luai in that 14 role. I think both will get picked.
It's the same debate for both. You either pick the best 17. I think Nicho Hynes in the best 17. I think he's in the best 13. Or you pick combinations.
So you'd have him at 5'8"?
Well, no, because I'm a big believer in combinations. Because when New South Wales were at their best, there was always a combination. And when Queensland were at our best, we just had a club combination. So that's the way I would go. But then sometimes you go the best 17 players and roll them out. New South Wales have been successful doing that.
Yeah, I think he's got to be 14.
I think he's got to be in the team.
He's got to be 14. Yeah. He'd be
the other option 14. For 14 is Matt Burton.
Yeah, versatility,
Yeah.
He's an option. He's a definite option. But, yeah, I'd still go with Nicho. The next
Wasn't he in the centres last year, Burton?
He was. Yep.
The next one's a tough one. Tom Trbojevic up against Campbell Graham. Now, Campbell Graham is in career best form and he deserves a spot more than anyone. More than anyone almost in the competition, he deserves a shot at Origin. But you've got the incumbent here who is not at his best and carrying an injury. What do they do here? What do we do here?
Well, Gordy would pick Turbo. If he was a Queenslander, you'd pick Turbo, Gordy?
I think you make a phone call and you ask him whether he's ready to pull the trigger. Absolutely. You can't say Tommy. Like if you say, Tommy, are you ready to pull the trigger? You pick him. But Campbell Graham just worries you. He's just one of those guys that in the 80th minute you can just see him doing the same thing. It's like a Chris Mortimer, like one of those real tough centres that just don't get like a Chris Johns. They just keep on doing what they do for 80 minutes.
With Tom, the Manly coaches and training staff and medical staff, they'd be asking him how he is before every game. They'd be checking in to see what level he's at and if he's
absolutely.
And I'm sure he's given them the same answers.
They've been doing that actually since February, guys.
Do you think Tom would have it in him? This is my question. As an ex-Origin player, an Origin legend, do you think he'd have it in him, Tom, to say, oh, listen, I'm not quite 100%, so no, don't pick me?
Yeah, I reckon he's an honest guy. I do believe he's that sort of guy, and I'm a strong believer for myself. I have played Origin, busted, and it's a toughest contest. You got both. You know you want to be 100%. So it's only a question for Tommy and where he's at. But I would be making a phone call. You make phone calls to those special players.
Everyone in rugby league loves Tom Trbojevic and would want nothing more than to see him play for New South Wales at his best. The concern is, though, Gordy, we saw Britton Nakora street him on the weekend, and Tom Trbojevic of old would have lassoed him in 5 metres. Watch this. He couldn't keep pace with a back rower. So if Queensland centres, whoever they may have marking up, Val Holmes, Dane Gagai or Hammer, what do they do in that situation? How do you send
He might be saving
Tom
himself for Origin.
in his present form out to challenge
Well, the
that?
Hammer-
I just
no,
think,
you
I
don't.
think it would be unfair.
And the Hammer would be licking his lips, Crawls, with that.
And mate, everyone loves, like, he's one of the great role models and personalities in our
You
game.
would pick
We
him
want
on
him out
name.
there.
You're not going to pick him on his performances in the last
I
month.
agree with you,
You're going
Gordy.
to pick him on name.
We'll see how he plays this week, but some tough decisions to be made by both New South Wales and Queensland coming up. Thank you, Crawls. Thank you, Dave. Plenty more to come on NRL 360. Up next, it's the Players' Perspective with Jai Arrow and Luke Keary.